Hi guys, this is Mark Black, and this is Mark Teaches Music. This is our To Play and Sing live stream with all your musical questions, and it's for all instruments and voice. And I just love music so much. I'm sorry to be so, but it's just so exciting to. Music is so wonderful, and so many wonderful styles, and so many wonderful instruments. I said when people say, what's your favorite instrument? I say, well, I don't have one. And then the reason that I play so many instruments is that I just couldn't decide. I'd hear this and this would be great. This would be great. This would be great. A bunch of instruments that I don't play at all, are just fantastic. For example, the French horn is amazing, and bagpipes are amazing, and just dozens of other instruments that I do not play. So, I managed to, limit myself to the ones I've got here. But, so all styles, all levels. The only people that I can't discuss, if you ask me, complex issues about lip trills on the brass and things like that. But I cannot help, I suppose if, whatever, Victor Wooten showed up, or Tommy Emmanuel, he should come up and just give me a lesson. That'd be great. But anyway, my point is so other than those people, a lot of things that we can talk about here can help and be a wonderful blessing. So my point, starting last week, we didn't start this last week, started 2-3 years ago, but from last week, starting back up, it's like I'm just going to talk about the things that have happened with students this week, and the issues they had and things like that. And so and then last week we talked about, we had a new parents chat up show up in the chat and say, hey, what's the best music to listen to, or what should we do for our newborn? And we talked about the importance of rhythm in music, and it's not just the important, it's the commanding thing. I'm sorry about these things in my eyes here. Maybe one day I'll get rid of this. I haven't figured it out yet. I got all kind of alternate lights in different places, and supposedly I can fix this, but I'm too much of a dummy to fix it. So if you can fix it, let me know. So anyway, we talked about rhythm, how crucial it is, the most important thing for the performer, although it feels like it's not. It feels like don't miss that chord, don't miss that note, and that's really not the thing. If we had this, I'm talking about like sheer comparison. Should I hit this note right? Should I hit this rhythm right? The most important thing is, do I get to keep the rhythm? So, that's true. So, okay. So anyway, without further eloquence, we'll go into what happened today. And so, in pondering in just a few minutes before we started here. So the first thing is to think about, so sorry, that's going to make noise. I know it is. I'm going to turn that off. Oh, this is so bright. Excuse my brightness. So anyway, the first thing is about practicing. Now, let me just talk about this real quick. I had a student, it's like, hey man, I didn't practice. And the week before, I was like, hey man, it's like, so a straight up fact, if there's no way around it, is that you have to practice. And how much do you have to practice? And how should you practice? Not how. It's like, what are we going for? I just want to say, we have to practice. We've got to find the time to do this. But what I want you to think of, most of us are thinking up here, like if my brain understands it, I got to get my brain. I just don't understand it. I'm not, and it's headology, and it's like, well, no, it's really the head is definitely so many things are attributable to good things attributable to you understanding, including how do I finger this, and what key are we in, and how can I leverage the fact, and you can leverage the fact that you know how to play an F scale, major scale, to I can play a D Aeolian scale, I can play a G minor Dorian scale, I can play a C Mixolydian scale using that F scale if I know how to do it. So I'm just saying, your brain, tremendous. Most of us, when we get to that, we're working on music and do stuff. you need to think of a lot of your practice as more like learning to throw a fastball or a slider. That is, it's a physical thing. Learning to ride a bike. How are you going to ride a bike well? It's not, oh my God, I put this foot, left foot, oh, now right foot. Okay, now I'm to turn my feet. So it's like, yes, the first time or when you're 7 years old or something, but what quickly becomes the issue is, hey, ride this bike. This is a physical, muscular issue, so a whole bunch of your practice is, moving your fingers in this way 7,000 times. And I'm not talking, not to be confused with me, I'm not talking about you practicing a whole lot, although I'm disappointed this is you do need to practice, but I'm saying a whole lot of your practice is just, hey, you can't play this measure. What you need to do is isolate that measure or this 2 beats or this fingering or this connection between this chord and this chord. You need to look at it like, okay, I got to do this mechanical skill a lot. So it's like if you played a football and you're trying to learn how to throw the ball. You don't just go, okay, you hold your arm out, which you do, and you hold your arm out and you push, and this arm is pointing to what you want to hit. This, it's a great thing to do. And so it's like, but you're not thinking of that as soon after you've done it 10 times, 100 times. It's not finished. You haven't learned it well yet, but you quit thinking about the mechanics of it. You've established that. Now you're saying, I just got to do this 300 times. I got to throw the football to that guy who's running. I got to throw the football through that tire that's moving back and forth, that my dad made me do and stuff like that. That didn't happen to me. So I'm just saying that a lot of practicing is hey there, TDB. But a lot of practicing is more like throwing a ball than taking a history exam. And so if you keep thinking of it like a history exam, I got to understand, I got to figure out what is that, a lot of it is like natural, a physical thing. So that you're trying to develop. You don't have it, you want it. And another thing that happened is I'm thinking of a student working on basically not in this case we're not talking about the prevailing rhythm or the I forgot, I have some great phrase for it, but I can't remember what it is right now. The external rhythm, the other 2, 3, 4. What happens there? In that could be like, or a ba bum 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 or ba 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 do do da. In that time, the big rhythm keeping on going. Sometimes people having trouble with that, and I have a bunch of students, which is normal. Again, for literally, 35, 40 years of about 3,000 students, about a third of them having problems with that macro rhythm. There's the word, macro rhythm, the big picture. 1, 2. Did I get to measure 3 at the right time? Not the internal rhythm. So unfortunately, I'm at a different meter than I'm clicking here, but that's okay. So the big time, the big rhythm, the big idea. So oddly enough, the people who have severe problems with that, they keep cutting measures off, they keep coming in early, they have trouble holding those out as long as they're supposed to, that kind of stuff. And that is oddly enough tied to your personality. So those people that have that problem are more practical people, more immediate people, get her done, what's the bottom line? And so it's sort of like, I got to think of a great example. Last week I did The Great Gate of Kiev, just has a song, something to sing. And I'm trying to think of something else that's got big pauses in it. I'll do, I lost my picture. There it is. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Forget that this is classical music. Doesn't matter that it's classical music. What we're getting at or thinking about is that it is they're big pauses, and so we got to go ba 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 ba, whatever it is, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. So a person with these rhythm problems will go ba 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 ba. So, oh wait, you didn't pause, and what I mean is, what I want you to think about is that it's a temperamental issue of I want to get to the good part. I can't do all this waiting around. I got to move on now. How does that help you or have anything to do with you? Well, it basically has to do with first identifying, are you having a pervasive problem? Some people are having a small problem with that. Hey, baby, just start counting, 2, 3, 4. Just start thinking that way. And that comes in on 4. Ba, bump. That's all you got to do. And that will help many people. But some people have a larger problem. They keep doing that. And I don't think I said it last week, but my dad had that problem. He's played guitar and sang and helped put a lot of music in me. But when he would sing a song, he would cut he'd be like, he would go like something like, way down yonder. No, he would say, I'll do that. Way down yonder in the Indian nation, the cowboy's life is my occupation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Yeah, I don't know what the next line is, but he would jump in, 2 beats early. Only because he's thinking, hey, I gotta get to the next thing. So that macro rhythm issue is temperamentally based, meaning it's because of your outlook on life that has succeeded for you many times. And if you notice it's a pervasive problem, you have a lot of problems with it, then A, it's something to fix, and B, it's you can start by going through your songs, 2, 3, in some song you're going ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. 4. Ba 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 boom boom ba ba da da da. That's a good example. Ba da do 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 do. Frankenstein. One of the Winter's boys. I can't remember which one, Edgar or Johnny. But anyway, the point is, you can start tapping to keep and you have everything, and you go da 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 da. Wait. Ba da. Make yourself wait. Okay, so. Macro rhythm problems, intense rhythm issues, it's frequently a temperamental thing. That is how you've succeeded in life. And so, yet another student had a problem with, or not getting them to sing in the chest voice. Now, it's a women, my God. The women have a problem, or have to. They naturally, what we hear on the radio all the time, constantly, is men singing in their chest voice. I've been waiting. Chest voice, strong. Strong voice. There's the different ways that the voice is actually made. So this note, and this note, that's the same pitch, but one is chest and one is head. Actually, this is head. And what we heard just a second is sort of a mix. So anyway, that's neither point nor here there. It's that the chest voice is natural for everybody for low notes. Ba, sing that note. Down, make sure it's a low note. Ba is naturally a chest voice. The way it's made, forget about how it's made. It's just made differently, a certain way. Made a certain way. Here's a high note. That's my head voice. That's my chest voice. It's naturally, I'm not doing anything. So the voice is lazy. Your voice is lazy. Everybody's voice is lazy. So it says, as we're going up, chest, So those last 8, 9 notes, you heard a little pop there. It's my voice saying, this is stupid. Still singing the chest voice, lifting that chest voice up higher. It's saying, hey, let's just go to the head voice. So women, most of men, the kinds of songs, the kind of music they're singing and supposed to be singing is in the chest voice. The vast majority, anywhere from 90 to 98% of men you hear singing, unless it's classical, straight, and even then, a low note for a man has to be the chest voice. So the point is, so it's naturally for the man to sing that, and talking about the range that he's supposed to singing and what we're supposed to hear him sing is in his chest voice. Women, a lot of what they, the range, the melodies and things hit is frequently in their head voice, their girl voice. Yet, when you think of a really aggressive woman singing, and I just don't mean even really aggressive, I shouldn't say that. You think of I'm trying to get away from aggressive people. I'm thinking of Pink. But that would be like, it's not aggressive, a strong female vocal. And again, this is pop, everything but classical. And for some reason, a lot of jazz, tons of classical singers start singing jazz, and like, so there's a bunch of jazz that's really I don't know how to say it, earthy, and this is strong music, and some, maybe a quarter of people singing jazz are singing almost exactly like classical music, and that's, I think, a mistake in my opinion. But so anyway, just setting aside classical and some jazz singers, so everything else, pop, rock, blues, country, the girl singing, whatever she's going. I'm a guy, I don't know if you noticed, but the point is, I'm going to have a little problem mimicking a girl singing in her chest voice and her head voice. But the point is the girl would want to sing aggressive song, like that. But the song requires, it's just a normal song, a good exciting song, but it's just a Katy Perry, I'm thinking of names. So it requires the girl not to sing like that, which in itself, by itself, without any context, words or anything, is a sweeter, gentler sound. Rather, that song and songs like that require, because the range I picked, I'm sorry I picked that range, I shouldn't have picked that, but I'm having to sing that in the mixed voice. Let me drop it down. So here's the girl singing in her head voice, which is a prettier voice. So then what they have to learn to do, many women have to learn to go, and I'm not talking about how loud that was, but the way it sounds. And here's in the head voice again. And my only point is, head voice, chest voice, we have to lift, men and women have to lift their chest voice up into higher notes than is natural. And again, the body has figured it out. Hey, once you get this high and singing, quit singing in the chest voice. Don't do that anymore. Sing that in your head voice. And then because of society, the man keeping us down. No, that's not it. Because of what we're used to hearing as an aggressive, engaging sound is men and women singing in their chest voice. It's not easier to sing in the chest voice for men. It's just that the notes they're usually singing are easier, more natural for them to just lift up 2, 3, 4, 5 notes in the chest voice that would be in the head voice, but go ahead and put them in the chest voice. It's kind of easier. And women kind of hits them like, hey, a lot of these notes I wouldn't normally sing in my chest voice. I would sing them in my head voice. So anyway, the idea of the chest voice and head voice, a lot of it is mood. What is this song about? Is this a pretty song? Is it a gentle song? Well, then maybe you should sing it in your head voice, women. Is it aggressive or just medium intensity, the mood of the song? Not is it right or wrong to sing in your head or chest voice? It depends on the mood. So if it's an aggressive song or even a middle song, you're probably going to have to sing it in your chest voice and learn to sing in your chest voice. Now, the most comments I ever got, and this was 15, 20 years ago, back when the internet was young and we used to just click stones together or use telegraph to do the internet, people just went nuts of me talking about this, which is, I don't mean me, amazing me. It's just, hey, it's just like you're listening to these people sing that are great, and you're saying that person's singing in their chest voice, and how can you get that easily, quickly, like that? Sing loud. So I go, up. Now I can do that without, but I can do that. Up. I can do that. I can do it softer. Not that soft because of the way it's made, but point here is that I don't have to sing. One doesn't have to sing loud to activate the chest voice, but it's probably the quickest way. Another way is to think of going the glottal stop or the coup de glas. Although again, there's vast kingdoms in the vocal world that are just like, oh, you just can't use the coup de glas, even though it was the oh my gosh, used ubiquitously in singing. Bel canto school for 150, 200 years. So anyway, point is, chest voice, probably a normal sound, harder to do for women. We're lifting up what's natural singing, and so it is a little bit unnatural, but not uncommon or odd. And the only thing I'd just like to say is when somebody says you're belting because you're singing in your chest voice, no, you're belting when you're going, I got to shut your face. That's belting. You know, I'm making myself sing aggressive. But if I just use it to go, or softer, that's just singing in your chest voice. Okay. Now, by the way, if you want to take lessons, you should take lessons and become an amazing person, an amazing musician, an amazing singer. And if you do, email me at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com. mark@dallasmusiclessons.com. And I'll send you information about taking lessons. So this is my little gig, my little ad. There it is. You should take lessons. Okay, so let's see. And that's what I was saying. I'm looking at these comments. And the body has already figured out what it thinks when you should shift from chest to head. It just says, here's where your chest, right around here, you know. And then we're kind of changing it. All right, now, and I want to make this comment. This is not, these are the things that happened in one day of lessons this week. So I just want to comment that if you have intonation problems as a vocalist, now, as much as a guitar player or bass player or mandolin player, Peter Thiele said there's only two kind of mandolin players, one who's out of tune and one who's tuning. That's the two kinds. So, but all these various instruments, not piano, but yes, wind instruments, stringed instruments, unfretted strings, fretted strings, you know, as much as people are focused on, rightly, naturally, on playing in tune and tuning, it's the voice and maybe trombones, I think somebody else, that would have the most problem, because the voice has nothing. The only way you could get a sound like that on a guitar, you couldn't get a sound like that. It would go da 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 da. It would hit all the half steps up and down. The same thing with any fretted instrument. The voice could sing an A, a slightly flat A, a somewhat flat A, a rather flat A, a really flat A, an actual A flat. You know, it has no distinction because it's just vibration changing, and you have to listen to notice. Rather than a piano, you hit this note and you hit an A and you hit an A flat, and there's no in between. You can't make it go in between, except if you have a pitch wheel on your keyboard. So anyway, if you have intonation problems, very natural to have intonation problems. They can be fixed, but you have to be very tenacious about it, like tenacious D. And that is people who are singing, I'm not talking about perfect pitch even remotely, people are kind of mostly singing in tune and singing more and more in tune, getting better as they work on their voice. Mostly, if we were to look at that, that's mostly people who started singing at a young age. Even if you didn't sing much, but you're listening to music, like we talked about for the babies, new parents, you know, listen to music. And the point is, music permeates you, and you don't, your standard of what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm talking about non-babies now. I'm just talking about, you know, you decided at 18 to start taking lessons or becoming a musician. You decided at 12 to, you decided at 32 to become a musician or to learn how to play. If you listen to music, whether you knew it or not, you listen to a lot of music, you are going to really have a good chance of singing in tune, you know, because it's just, what are you supposed to do? I go, let's see, let's try. It was the 3rd of September, the day I always remember. Yes, I will. 'Cause that was the day when my daddy died. So, in other words, I'm just playing a tape in my head. You know, and you are too. And so if you've had a lot of music exposure to different things musically, it's easy to length of time. Not I went to, you know, I don't know what, I had all these million songs on my playlist. Well, did you listen to them? Did you listen to them a lot? And it soaks in you and in your ear. This is how I'm supposed to sound. This is what going from a da 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 half step and another half step. It's not explicit. It's implicit. It's subconscious in there. Then you won't have a lot of intonation problems, which means being in tune. If you have not done that a lot, not forced yourself to sing, and oddly enough, or interestingly enough, a lot of my students that have intonation problems it's a result of people telling them they can't sing. And many people would be reasonable for them to start singing wrong. I'm just talking about you're 8, you're 12, and somebody, let's all sing Happy Birthday, or Jimmy, start singing Happy Birthday for us. And Jimmy sings, and the notes aren't connected, like, well, in a little bit, like, why would Jimmy be able to sing exactly in tune? So I'm saying, first off, those intonation problems, singing out of tune, can be a reasonable, normal issue, and then also it's fixable. But you do have to follow it for a long term. A lot of students can come, I really can't stay in tune, and then they can bump it up. Try not to sneeze. They can bump it up, but they have to keep working on it, because it's sort of like laying a new foundation. You don't have the context of staying in tune, whereas many people without working on it do, because of what happened before. Okay, and then the last thing is that, which is probably a funny thing to say, but just talking about the two poles of students: beginning students, and I will use this phrase, crippled students with problems, versus advanced students, precocious, skilled musicians. And I just make the statement, I'm thinking about students, right, that are in these two categories. I'm thinking literally about two students, one who's got plenty of musical issues, plenty of, like it's, I would call them, think of it, I couldn't think of a better word, crippled, or they got problems, things that they're really hitting them. And so it's like, and then on the other pole is like these students that have, I don't want to say giftings, they have giftings, but their giftings might be in addition to some musical gifting, like, okay, they got a good ear, or they got good rhythm, but also they're smart, and that they worked with a lot of music, and their parents encouraged them. Can't tell you how many famous musicians will say, well, my dad was a professional musician, or my mom played classical music. She started teaching me when I was 8. It's a lot more than I thought, actually. 10 years ago, I would have said not so much, but it is a crazy bunch. So anyway, so two poles of musicians in a day. So just to mention it, if you are a beginner, and if you are crippled up in some way, some real problems of various, could be you can't sing in tune, you have trouble, anything, timing, that'd be any instrument. So just comment, those people need to be encouraged. They need to be shown a simple and clear path. This is how we fix this. And you can do this, and here's how. And here's how. And in one way of looking at it, I keep in this situation is keep taking smaller and smaller chunks of what we're working on. How we're breaking it down. We'll do this song, do this chorus, do these 4 measures, do this measure, just play this chord. All encouraging, and I'm saying for you, if you got those kind of problems, you really have those problems, that's a good idea of breaking it down into a smaller part. But that's not my point. Is about, if you are in that camp, then you do need to be encouraged, and you need to be you need to encourage yourself or make it easier. And that's right. That's not wrong. It's like we're learning a foreign language, and so give me little words that work, I can easily get, and I can add to those words and have a phrase, and I can add 20 phrases and get a sentence, and on and on. And so if you're in that category, someone who's that category, call 9877 I'm learning. No, I'm kidding. So those people need to be encouraged, and then we need to take smaller until we get to a size of things we're working on that they can get. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the precocious, the advanced student, and again, if that's you, the last thing they need is to be coddled and petted on the head. Oh, you're so amazing. Oh my God, who are you? You can't imagine how how many beginners are there, and then there's advanced beginners, there's intermediates, and there's advanced, and there's professionals, and there's really skillful professionals, then there's virtuoso. How many people are great, and are unknown, and will be unknown. And that's not injustice. That's because in a society that produces a lot of leisure time and thought ability, a successful society, so there's lots and lots of musicians. And lots of people can work really hard, and lots of people can be smart. Lots of people can do all kind of great things. So, point is, if you are or seriously, I'm just talking. This is what this is about, to play and sing. So, if you are an advanced musician, a precocious, really great, the last thing you need is to be petted and everybody telling you you're the greatest thing in the world. What those people need is to be challenged and to be not unloved or uncared for remotely. And really the perfect way is like your dad would say, hey, come on, let's ride this bike. And you're like, I don't know if I can do it. They're like, no, you can do it. But it's like, you got to do it. So anyway, those people who are skilled need to be challenged, and they need to be not in a cutthroat way, but it's like, okay, you're really good, but there's all these other people higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And it's just, for example, the number of advanced music schools. We have state colleges, just a few. I don't know, every college, every music school, department and music school is going to say we're the best, But, there's maybe at the most 10 state schools that have really great music programs. And I don't mean band directors. I mean, these are people in orchestras. But then once there's a whole conservatory world, that the only people there are the elite, there's nobody there that's just hanging out, getting a degree. It's like, so there's just thousands. You pick an instrument, and there's thousands, 5,000 people coming out of those things every year in each instrument you would care to name, except maybe the oboe, which would be like maybe 500, and the harp, things like that. So anyway, point is, there's a whole lot of competition out there. Not sure that we're trying to definitely engage in that, like I'll be the best and I'll show you, but more that this advanced, precocious, strong musician needs to be encouraged to be their best and not compare themselves to the people around them that aren't that great. So let me just do the recap. We're almost done here. So you got to practice, turn it into something that is, realize that a huge element of that practicing is physical. Just do the thing. Just do the thing a bunch. Switch from this thing to that thing, whatever instrument you're in, It's like, we'll do that 17 times, and your hand will take over and say, I know how to do that now. You don't have to tell me what to do. And then I'm talking about intense musical, rhythmic issues where you're cutting off and not coming in on time a lot, and you're coming in early a lot, and you don't have notes long enough a lot. So that's a personality issue, and you can fix that issue. You can fix that issue, but you'll have to pay attention to it. And then I talked about chest and head voice, and the point was it's about the style. So I can't go, I've been waiting for a girl like you. Never works. And that's why, by the way, 50%, when a guy tries to sing a girl song, a girl tries to sing a guy song, it doesn't work. The guy or girl may be able to sing it, but it doesn't feel the same. So you may have to change the key. So we get, I've been waiting for a girl like you, which wasn't that great, but it's okay. Then I said, you should take lessons, mark@dallasmusiclessons.com. Then I said, I talked about the head voice and the chest voice are natural in certain ranges, and we mess with that to get intensity. And I talked about vocalists having intonation problems, and you can fix that, but it's going to take consistent work, attention. And lastly, we talked about the beginning student needs love, I love you, and hugs. And the advanced student, precocious student, needs some of that love, but he also doesn't need to be coddled or overly congratulated. Yes, encouraged. Yes, supported, but not. He needs to compare himself to the people that are better than him, and say, well, come on, why don't you see if you can play this hard piece and all like that. Okay, I believe I'm done. This is Mark Black. This is Mark Teaches Music, and this is to play and sing. Oddly enough, last week it was episode 59. This week it's episode 67. You can figure that out. Send me an email if you want to know why. And this is if you want to know something, if you want to know about lessons, email me, Mark@dallasmusic.